I currently have for sale one wife, slightly used, 1968 model. It needs a muffler, as it's very loud, and its intake valve is stuck in an open position. It's going to need rewiring, because many of the wires are currently crossed. Got lots of little dings in the body, which have been covered up with too much paint and a failed effort to camouflage them. Rear end needs a major overhaul, as there is a crack that has grown quite large over the years. Needs reupholstering, as its carpets have turned a dingy gray. Needs a little bit of front end work, as the headlights are too close to the ground and the fenders are way too far apart. It may not pass an emissions test, as it currently produces foul clouds of malodorous gas on a regular basis. The heater works great and hot air is never in short supply. Asking $500 cash or trade on a newer model.
I used to be a hoe, but now I ain't no more. But swimming through the water, now I'm back to shore. And look at who I didn't know, like, oh, my lord. I used to be a hoe,
If somebody tells me to take it down a notch, I'm immediately taking it up at least 5 notches.
This is how we solve all of your problems. He didn't text me back. You have a full roster, okay? You line them up. He ditches you, you grab the next, and the next, and the next.
HOE inflation. Never in a time in history have men worked so hard for the least quality women. Just look at The Bachelor versus The Bachelorette. How women behave differently. When women have to compete for The Bachelor, they're on their best behavior, but when men have to compete for The Bachelorettes, they're on their worst behavior. They usually kiss many men like it's a handshake, and even sleep with several of the contestants on national TV before they chose the winner, like Hannah Brown did in one season. That analogous to most modern women today, it's just that. There's no camera there 24/7 like the dating shows to catch them in the acts or act. The gynocentric society, especially with the laws that favor women, have tipped most of the advantages to women and gotten rid of the consequences, so that's why modern women can misbehave at will. The thought in the video, who's telling her millions of female followers, college age and younger, to have a roster of men, is the host of an HOE podcast called Her Daddy, where it glorifies women sleeping around and encourages them to throw away their life for hot girl summer. Let's see how her followers respond. Top comment says, "I'm not hot enough for a roster, Alex." Translation, she doesn't want to be a super HOE. Remember this, majority of women in the West are talking to multiple men at once, and usually select the highest bidder for a date or to romance. Another comment, "I'm too picky to find a whole roster of men I actually like." Translation, she only wants Chads and Tyrones, and she's probably part of their rotation because they have too many options to be manipulated. Where are we finding guys worthy to be on a roster? Because I can't find one guy that meets my standards. Ironically, the only thing that could prevent women from being a garden tool is their sky-high standards. They'd find something wrong with Superman if they had a shot to date him. Before we go on with the video, let me share the comment of the day. Shout out to user GX4, who shared, "Modern women say, men won't date us anymore. Men say, have you tried being the type of women men want to date, as in not a feminist?" And the modern woman says, "That's not the answer." They're making less and less sense as the weeks go on. That's just the MGTOW reality. So thank you for sharing that comment, and please don't forget to reach out to my email to claim your $5. As always, guys, I'll be picking one comment for comment of the day. Could be the funniest, the most liked, or just one that stuck out to me, so don't forget to leave a comment, and you could be tomorrow's winner. So be sure to hit the like and sub button too, as the support helps out a ton, y'all. So now let's get right back into the video.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever.
Okay, I know a lot of people won't agree on this, but I lie about my body count. You want to know why? And I learned from this one story. This guy asked me, he's like, "Hey, what's your body count?" I'm like, "You tell me yours first. I'm not telling you first." And he goes, "Well, like 100. I'm like, 100? Like, you've been counting? He's like, "No, I just know it's around 100. He's 34. So I'm calculating, and I'm not good at math, but that's a lot of people in years. Okay? I'm like, "Could you have maybe kept with one for a while?" No. And he was like, "Well, what's yours?" I'm like, 15. I don't know. I did not know, but I think it was 15. And he was like, "That's kind of a lot." Sir, did you just hear what you said? And my friends are like, "This is why you don't respect men." I do respect men. But for some reason, I keep getting in cars and going on dates with guys who aren't respectful of 15, I guess. So now I just lie and say 3 every time. I don't even care. They don't even care. They just want to put a picture of you that is so precious in their head until they meet my family. Then you're going to start realizing those 3 men have a lot of names.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
Damn, is that a mustache outline on her lip? I swear these females get more masculine by the day. I'm gonna be honest, I was expecting much more than 15. That's why I think she's lying. She might be counting like Catholic high schoolers who don't count sucking ding-dongs and getting plowed through the pooper as having sex. So she may claim her body count is 15, but she's probably been with at least 30 to 50 men. But again, I don't believe the 15 number. Also, these 304s and feminists need to understand that men and women are different. A man who's been with 100 women probably has value or at least elite genetics, like he's over 6 feet tall, an athletic build, and has a strong jawline, while a woman who's been sleeping with 100 men is seen as the neighborhood bike, where everyone gets a turn. A woman who sleeps around is someone who has no control over herself, so it doesn't mean anything to get her commitment, because everyone else had her intimacy without the commitment. So after 10 bodies, it's safe to say a woman cannot pair bond with you. That means that you have 1/10 of her heart and loyalty, which means 90% of her belongs to the streets. That man with the 100 body count sounds like he has standards. And although she may not like that, she respects it. There's a reason why he can pick and choose, because he's probably a top 10% man. Of one of the top comments with over 20,000 likes says, "That's kind of a lot. Is he insane?" No, he's definitely smart. If you want the highest probability for a successful nuclear family, you want to marry a virgin 18-year-old. No hymen, no diamond. Another comment with over 40k likes says, "After he said 100, you should have left." It doesn't work like that. No matter how much these females will claim they don't like the player or the man with options, they seem to still end up entertaining him while they'll ghost or ignore the man who slept with 3 women. Or they'll eventually cheat on the guy with a low body count because he's boring to them, or they claim they have no chemistry with him. Bottom line is, players or men with options excite these 304s the most. These men are like crack to them. Another comment with over 30,000 likes, "I feel like it's such a rude thing to ask, like we're not cars and this isn't mileage." Yep, these are the same thoughts that have no problem asking for a man's height or what he makes in a year. They just have a problem with being held accountable to their actions. And I'm glad she brought up that point. Women are like cars, because the more mileage, the more wear and tear. And a lot of these 304 snatches have been blown out already. Used females feel and look dirty, especially with the post-walls who used to be hot, but wasted their looks on screwing an entire sports team. The Botox post-wall look with the tats makes them look super road-worn. A post-wall comments, "I'd lie and say 100. She got 19,000 other females to co-sign that logic with a like. And that's why the post-wall has been single for 20 years. Saying that will most definitely keep them single. It's not the flex or dunk they think it is.
If you've ever worked in a brothel as a sex worker, then you'll probably know that most establishments will try and hide their red flags from you during your first shifts. This is usually because a lot of establishments really struggle to retain workers after that first initial shift. It's a lot of in, out, made my money, done, never coming back. It's a revolving door industry. And in some ways, establishments like that, but in other ways, they need to retain a high amount of workers to draw clients in. As much as they want you to believe that they'll fire you and they don't give a shit what happens to you. I mean, they don't. They need you. They cannot make money without you. Sometimes these red flags, because they hide them, don't pop up for maybe, 3, 4, 5 shifts. And then you're like, oh, do I leave? Do I stay? Haven't been here long enough to really care either way. But other times it will take weeks or months. And then you go, oh, how did I not realize what the fuck was going on here? It's happened to me twice, where it has been like weeks or months. But this one establishment that I am here to tell you about today, might be multiple parts because of how many red flags there were, showed me more red flags in a single shift, let alone a first shift, than I have seen anywhere. And I have worked at places where there've been like pimps and trafficking, and it was not good. So like, for me to say that there were more red flags here, that's something. Basically, I walked in. It's a high-class establishment. And so I kind of expected the bare minimum of, okay, it'll be clean, should be nice, they'll have some regular clients that come through. And that's pretty much what it looked like when I got in there too. The manager interviewed me, and as a bigger worker, I'm aware I have to put in a bit more effort than the thin workers for them to kind of go, oh, you are pretty. Oh my God, yes, we want you. So she's like, you've got the right natural look. It's when my hair was copper and not rainbow. And we have a lot of clients looking for bigger workers, and we don't have the bigger workers to see them. So perfect, hide on the spot. She's like, go get dressed. Most of the girls wear lingerie. I recommend lingerie. So I went and I put on my lingerie, and I go into the girls' room, and immediately the receptionist, not the manager went home. The receptionist comes out and is like, oh, where are your stockings? And I was like, oh, I don't have any stockings. And she's like, well, you need to be wearing stockings if you're on shift. And I was like, okay, nobody told me that. And also I just packed my normal work bag, so I didn't know to pack anything extra like stockings. And she's like, you can buy some from us for $10. And I took one look at them, and I was like, I am too fat for those stockings. And so they let me get away with one shift with no stockings. Continued in part 2.
That's not a high-class SEX establishment, maybe middle class. The high-class escort establishments are the model agencies, but that's a different story. My biggest pet peeve is when these streetwalkers call their career or profession work. She even calls her bag a work bag. It's just annoying. Go get a real job like at Walmart and stop being lazy and calling that work. And remember, according to feminists, this adult-rated hobby is so-called empowering, yet this female had to deal with pimps and traffickers, and she's not even attractive to a majority of men. They do not care about you, no matter how much they try to make you think they do. You work for yourself, and you gotta look out for yourself. Newsflash, most corporations and companies don't care either, yet these feminists advocated for it, overserving a man that loves them. A man cares about his wife, if she cooks and cleans and stays faithful and thin. A man would die for her and be extremely happy to work all day so she can stay home. But the no-man-having hags claimed that staying in the kitchen was oppressive to women. A simp comments, I have a lot of respect for women who work at a brothel. It takes a lot of effort to do what you guys do. If he respects these cum dumpsters so much, why doesn't he marry them and allow them to continue doing their hobby? Let's see how much he likes it then. There's nothing respectful about being a glory hole. This is why she's destined to be single till she's 6 feet under. Back to her so-called red flags. So far, I don't see anything wrong with having a dress code or charging for stockings. Nothing is for free. A lot of careers sell their workers the work uniform. That's life.
Thanks for making it back for part 2 of the most red flags I've ever experienced in one night at a brothel. We were at the part where I was too fat for the stockings they were trying to rip me off by making me buy, and I didn't buy them, and they were like, all right, no stockings for you today. But if you don't have stockings on your next shift, you're not working. And it was just very condescending. It was very much an environment where the receptionist had a massive power trip. So I quickly go into my first booking, and I wasn't told where anything is. So I was like, do I need to take anything into the room with me? And they're like, yes. Why haven't you gone and got the sheets for the bed? And I was like, the what? Why haven't you gone and gotten towels? And I'm like, from where? And I was like, this is my first booking. No one's really explained where any of this is or what I'm supposed to do. And they were like, fine, we'll show you how to make the room up. I'll get the hostess to take you. They had different things. So they had like the manager who had gone home. They had the receptionist who had just started for the night shift. And then we had like the hostess who was a lovely Polish woman. She was an angel, but she had no authority over anything. And you could tell the receptionist wanted her to know about that, which I didn't like. So this lovely hostess shows me how to make up the room. My client is standing there super awkwardly because there's a weird woman he didn't choose standing in the room making a bed with me while I stand there going, so sorry, it's my first day. Anyway, through the booking, he asks me for extras. I don't typically do extras if it's somewhere I've never worked before because, you know, you want to get a lay of the land before you're doing that. And so I said, no, not offering anything. And that was that. Shortly afterwards, I had another 2 bookings. And after the 3rd booking, the receptionist comes into the girls' room and in front of all the girls, who, by the way, none of them were like talking to each other except for like 2. And no one would really interact it was very strange, and it was like almost... Basically, there was like a camera in the girls' room and they could see us all the time, but also there was a window from the girls' room to where the receptionist sits, so they can like see and hear everything firsthand anyway. So I think that's why the only conversation was really just, I love your eyelashes, thanks. And that's it between those two girls. There was no socializing. It's like everyone was too scared to speak. It was really weird. But the receptionist comes in and she's like, Gigi, can I see you in the next room? And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. And I just thought I got another booking, to be honest. I was on a roll. And she's like, we need to have a chat. Oh my God, the time's up. Part 3.
Wow, what a shocker. A modern woman being bitchs, especially in the workforce. Exactly when they have power. This is why most career women prefer male bosses, because the male bosses usually don't throw around their weight for no reason. They have to lead, which is inspiring others to follow a vision. That's why a majority of successful companies are founded and ran by men. Anyways, on top of that, the all-woman workplace is very toxic. Again, who would have seen that coming? And to be honest, so far there's nothing in the video that's so-called worse than trafficking. It sounds like she's just entitled and a brat.
Welcome to part 3 of most red flags in one brothel shift. So we're at the part where the receptionist has pulled me into the little office and yelling at me. And she's like, we need to have a chat. And I was like, okay, because I was fucking terrified. And she's like, we have a cap on extras here. And I was like, okay, like some places do, whatever. And she's like, you are not to charge more than $50 for extras. Do you understand me? And I was like, okay. And she's like, do you understand when I tell you you are not to charge more than $50 for any extras? That's everything. $50, that's it. Do you understand me? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I haven't done any extras. And she's like, I need to know that we're on the same page. Do you understand? And I was like, okay, in my head I was trying to be good. So I was like, yeah, I understand. Like I said, I haven't done any extras. I don't really know if I'll even be offering them. But then a little light bulb went off in my head. Every single client that I had gone and introed and said hello, like, hi, I'm Gigi, come book me. All of them asked for anal as an extra. Not surprising, considering they think they can get it for fucking $50. It's not a service that I even offer. But for those that do offer it, let me assure you, it is always gonna be much more than $50. That is insulting. So I was like, okay, guess I'm not doing any extras here. I had another bunch of bookings. I had a lot of bookings, I think more than everyone else that night, which is good for a chubby worker, because they like to tell you that no one wants you. But that was clearly a lie. So back in the room with the girls where no one would talk because everyone was terrified of them listening to us. It was so creepy and weird. The receptionist comes in again with another weird announcement, and she's just standing there in front of this whole room of girls, and she's like, can I have everyone's attention, please? And so everyone looks up from their phones and takes their headphones out, and she's like, so I'm sure some of you are aware that we had an incident earlier in the week. And some of the girls nodded along. I obviously didn't. I had no idea what it was about. And she's like, so I wanted to give you an update. They mentioned the girl's specific work name that had the incident, and then proceeded to tell us what the incident was. I'm running out of time, so I'm going to have to do that in the next part. But this next bit just really did not sit well with me at all.
Professional streetwalkers doing it at least 5 times per day. Her body count has to be in the quadruple digits by now, at that rate. I still can't see how this is empowering as feminists claim.
Okay, so as most of you guys are aware, we had a bit of an incident here on Monday night with Melissa and her client. Yeah? And that is because Melissa does not know how to handle her client. During their booking together, Melissa's client decided that he was going to take the condom off. Okay? And he took the condom off and he penetrated her without the condom. So she got upset and she left the client in the room and she came out to us to tell us that there was a problem. Okay? This is a reminder that we are not here to fix your problems. Okay? If you have a problem with a client, fix it yourself. Or just don't have the problem. Just prevent it. You should know how to prevent these things. And I just want to clarify, okay? We don't call the police here. Okay? We don't call the police. We handle all matters in-house. That's why we have security. So, if you're worried that your client might be a bit dirty, or he might try and take the condom off or something, we should be putting 2 condoms on. Just double bag it. Just double bag it. Just do it, okay? And just a reminder, we are not going to call the police because Melissa decided that the police needed to be involved, and so we had to send her home for the day because we do not involve the police here. Do you know what would happen if the police came here? They would deport you. You would just be in cages, okay? They would deport you because you are illegal here, okay? Okay. So, and then I interrupted because I was like, no. I also interrupted at the double condom bit because do not use 2 condoms. The friction of the 2 condoms is making them more likely to break. Anyway.
Wow, I guess she had a right to complain after all. That is crazy. Talk about the worst management. That is just an effed up situation. But these females choose to make quick, easy money instead of working an honest job, or do I say, they can leave and get an hourly job. Subway is hiring. Oh, I forgot. They're too entitled to work an average job. Males have no choice. If they have no skills, they have to take what they can get. No one's going to care if they have to work a crappy, low-paying job. Or these females could have saved their virginity for marriage and become a housewife. Not be forced to leave the house every day to do a job they don't like or degrade themselves. The horror of being in a safe environment of the home.
I'm scared because I have no idea what this is gonna be.
Why does your uterus hurt? It's on my period. Why does your heart hurt? Oh, she's sad. Boys. I'm super sad because boys hate me and I'm ugly and I have too much acne and I'm going to hell because I sent too many pictures of my butt.
That's honestly sad. That's the result of feminism. It's the reality for most of these modern women, and sadly, like that girl, they're starting to get broken at a younger age. This is the MGTOW reality. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.